Hello, dear friends. This is Cardiac Radio at 11 p.m., nourishing our souls with living in serenity. We are marching. This is 15 days together to build this foundation of serenity. Yes, we need it. You know, in the world, many things are happening. But what about the inner world? What a time to be tested, huh? Don't you think so? And how do you feel about it? Remember when you were much younger? When we are younger, we tend to feel very courageous. We are risk takers, right? And as we grow older, we begin a much cautious journey. It's the sign that our prefrontal cortex has been maturing. Neuroscience shows to us that, in neuropsychology, they show to us that the definition of adolescence has changed. It's no longer younger years. It ends at 25 average, because the main sign of the end of adolescence is the maturation of our prefrontal cortex, which is pretty much here at the level of our forehead, which is crucial for decision making and discernment. But you know, there are people who can get it much earlier. You can see children who are not risk takers. They can sense danger way before it is presented to them, and they avoid certain people, certain situations, etc. Other people, danger is right in front of their eyes and they throw themselves at it. Well, there are many reasons for it. One of them is the maturation of our prefrontal cortex. That's the explanation in the physical realm. But what about the root of this behavior? We're talking about the reincarnation of the soul and how it is being ever more present in the physical body. So the more present we are here, the more we ponder the consequences of our actions, right? Plus, we have also baggage from previous lives. So if in previous lives we were risk takers, we were suicidal minds, most likely we're going to throw ourselves into risk-taking scenarios without much thought. Nowadays, we are on Earth in these critical days of transformation. It's the cleansing of the Earth. Yes, the coronavirus comes for several purposes, including to recalibrate ourselves regarding God. It is time for us to stay calm, and the only way to stay calm is to hold ourselves on our faith to God. It is important. It is vital. If we want to tell the coronavirus, we got it, please go away, we need to boost our faith. So starting tomorrow, March 17th, 2020, at 6 p.m., we at Cardiac Radio are going to start a prayer vigil every day at 6 p.m. to remind people that we won't get out of it without God. We won't. There's no medication. There's no social distancing. There's nothing. There's no vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin anything. The only vitamin that we need is God. God. That's the vitamin that we need. So to give a hand to everybody, Cardiac Radio will hold a prayer vigil at 6 p.m. every day, Eastern Time, okay? And we're inviting all of our friends to help us. If you are interested in joining us in this task force, just write to us at cardiacradio@gmail.com, and I'll send you the instructions on how you can help in this prayer vigil task force. Okay? Thank you so much. Talking about the transformation of times. Past the coronavirus, what is going to happen? Do you think the world is going to remain the same? No. The world is transforming itself. Will never be the same again. What does that mean? It means that the higher spirits will certainly shower us with innovations. Because we're opening ourselves to the new. That's why when it said, stay home, and you freak out thinking, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do at home? You think, I better not resist. Radical acceptance. Yes, it's the title of the book of Tara Brach. And I say, she's a Buddhist psychologist, a beautiful mind. Radical acceptance is what we need. Embrace the days. How? Breathing in and out and saying, God, I accept the new. Let me co-create with you in the new. That's how we boost our creativity. It's time to declutter our closets. But Vanessa, what am I going to do with this? I don't know. You wait after the virus, but you prepare the bags. Declutter. You organize the closets, the kitchen cabinets. We can always, maybe, even paint. If you don't want to paint the house, you can clean the walls. There's so many things we can do. And if temperature allows, you can do gardening and revamp your garden as well. Your backyard, your front yard, if that's a thing. If not, it's time to take care of the plants, the indoor plants. It's also time to learn more things, read new books, watch new programs that are inspirational, that otherwise you wouldn't have time because of the business of life. There's something in the air telling us to prepare for beautiful things that are ahead of us. And you may be asking, but Vanessa, what about the people who are dying, right? So many of them, like in Italy, for example. Friends, death doesn't exist. The other day, I told a relative of mine who is experiencing this transition of life. And I said, death doesn't exist. Death was created by God, so there must be something good in death. Because why would God allow you to be born to die? It's God's creation. It must have a good thing. So we need to be joyful when people cross over and they are ready for the next step. We don't want to shoo them away, but if they did, we say it's a blessing for them. We're not sad for them. We're sad for the ones who stay, because when you're here, you're still challenged. When you're done with school day and go back home, good for you. Oh, Vanessa, I want to see what you're going to feel. I agree. I will probably cry if loved ones discarnate, but not out of this despair, out of longing, or out of like saying, it was so good and I appreciated it. But I'll say, God bless you. And if it happens to me, I hope you pray, oh, Vanessa, wherever you are. And I'll say, guys, keep up the good work, because I'm going to the next step here. Remember that, okay? Yes, remember that. Because that day is going to come. I don't know when, but whenever it is, it's in God's hands. And God didn't create death to scare us. Didn't create these mechanisms of transformation to doom us. it created for beautiful things. We're still childish and don't grasp the whole thing, but that's okay. Time will teach us, right? Today, as we are relearning so many things with the coronavirus, we're also learning about the power of each phase of our lives. One thing we know, that past the coronavirus, one thing we know is going to happen, the power of youth. We still need to revisit it. During this time of the coronavirus, we need to revisit how we treat the earth and how we treat the youth. So tonight, the message by Emmanuel is about a message to youth. But it's the message to the youth within you and me. Because the difference between people who are 13, 14, 15 and us is just the body. Because the spirit may be even less mature than those who are in the bodies of adolescents. So what is youth all about on earth? We have not yet understood about the importance of youth and its sacredness. And this is a moment at Kardec Radio in which we're going to live in peace. If you are the father and mother of a teenager, if you have friends who have teenagers, this is a program for you too. Because many parents are like, oh my gosh, I can't stand being with my adolescents at home during this quarantine time. Okay, this is time for Emmanuel to teach us about what youth is all about. Are you ready? I see Alan Swift is ready. Hello, Alan. Hello, John De Rosa. Hello, Tissa Silva. I see Jailton here with us. Thank you, Jailton. I see Aline. Big hug to you, Aline. Patty Soares. Thank you, Patty, for being with us. Teresa Castro. Thank you for being with us, Teresa, and so funny and joyful always. Silvia Otero, thank you, Silvia, for being with us. Sol Souza, thank you for being with us. Angel Harris Mateo, thank you so much for being with us. I know Tara Brack's book, Radical Acceptance, is so current for us. And I see Andrea Cosley here with us as well, right? I see Daisy Gallen, thank you. Daisy, thank you, Nora Brazil, big hug to you. Thank you, Luciana Nicoliello, for joining us at Kardec Radio. And Carol Correia, thank you, dear friend, as well. And I know there are more friends, but feel free to write a comment. And ready we are, right? This message is titled Message to Youth. It's actually chapter 12 from the book Perante Jesus by Emmanuel through Chico Xavier. It's a message to the young person, but for all of us who need to prepare ourselves to redefine youth, to redefine that moment of our reincarnation as well. It's a message for all of us. It's a message for the new times past the coronavirus, okay? Emmanuel says, my young friend, Christ-conscious youth is the blessed spring of light, announcing the improvement of the earth. Accept with a firm spirit the script that the Divine Master offers to us. May you have tender heart, clear conscience, pure mind, noble feelings, straight conduct, valiant attitude, fraternal disposition. May you have a heart open to suggestions of the good that clarifies the conscience and expands its greatness. The spotless conscience illuminates the mind, renewing its manifestations. The ennobled feeling guides the conduct, keeping it on straight paths. The faultless conduct determines the valiant attitude in the performance of one's duty and in the edifying work. The praiseworthy gestures leads to fraternity, in whose climate we conquer understanding, progress, and merit. Heart open to the influence of Jesus. May you have a heart open to the influence of Jesus to enrich life. May you have fraternal willingness to incessantly serve all beings, so that love reigns sovereign. Here, my friend, in short, the script with which Jesus, the Christ-conscious youth, will collaborate in the improvement of the world. From the devoted cooperator, we acquire knowledge according to time. From the sovereign Christ, we receive the imperishable light for eternity. I don't think Emmanuel, in his practicality, he's being poetic. He's being very practical. He's giving us a recipe to a well-balanced youth. And you may say, but that's an angelic one. No, that's a well-balanced youth. How do we get there? Well, we have to prepare year after year. And when I see parents that are completely lost, spoiling their kids, allowing their teenagers to do whatever they like, whenever they like, because they blackmail you, right? They say, but my friends are doing this. I have to do it too. I don't love you anymore. I'm going to do this. Say, I love you. Remember, you reincarnated to do the good. We need to repeat it and be calm. Vanessa, don't you get sometimes out of yourself? I do. But I talk to Virginia too. I know she's only 6. It's different from 16 for sure. Right, so Souza, we all know the time will come. But the foundation is here and now. And you can almost see when you can almost like multiply what you see today by 10. And you're like, oh my gosh, if I don't stop now, at 16 it's going to be impossible. But it's not about repressing. It's about educating. It's not something that comes from the outside in. It's about trying to bring out what they have, the good within themselves. Everybody responds to love. So parents and educators only need one thing: love and goodwill. Because the guardian angels will always inspire us. So it's important to practice goodwill and to externalize love, and the rest comes with the help of on high. Plus, knowing the script, we know how to educate our youth. I would say this is a good document to give to our children, the preteens, the teens, if you can even earlier, saying, when you are an adolescent, that's how you need to aim at. For your own benefit, not for me. Not for the family, but for you. And that's going to affect everybody. Because whatever you do, you're going to be responsible for it. So the first thing they say, the balanced youth needs to be aligned. The north is the Christ consciousness. But Vanessa, what if I'm not from a Christian family? Well, the Christ consciousness is universal. That's why we use Christ conscious and not Christian, because we're talking about the universality of the teachings. They are found in every single philosophy and religion. In some other ways they are. But knowing that Jesus modeled it, it's much easier, I would say. This is the time on earth where people are being called to surrender to the governance. It's not an imposition, it's an invitation. He says if we align our hearts with the Christ consciousness, then youth will be a blessed spring announcing the improvement of the earth. So if you think the rebellious kids are the ones who are going to lead the way, we're talking about the peacemakers. We're talking about the active peacemakers. Being a peacemaker is not being quiet. You're loud with kindness. You're loud with gentleness. I don't know if you have ever listened to Greta Thunberg speak. She's so composed. She speaks with so much firmness. But the old generations don't listen. And she has been saying it. And we haven't listened. She's not the only one. Malala, many others. And it has come since ancient times. Look at Chico Xavier. A Christ-conscious youth announcing the new times of the earth. Chico Xavier started his steps when he was 17. Divaldo Franco, the same. So, we need to value youth, because that's where we can really have all the strength to improve it all. So how can we adjust ourselves in the youth if you are the person or the educators or the parent? First of all, accept the script that was given by the Divine Master, meaning the gospel. So every Tuesday at 6 p.m., Bia Lopes, who is Kardec Radio 14's host, she is reading the gospel and explaining the gospel to teens. She has been doing this work since 2016, and now we are making it available here on video. So accept that script. So bring your youth, share her videos with your teenager, right? And we have also on Sundays at 8 a.m. the videos by Felicia from South Africa with her little daughter. She is the mother of the beautiful, I forgot her name now, I apologize. Zell, am I right? And they read May's book, Our Daily Bread. Our Father, May by Chico Xavier. 2 adolescents who are leading the way into this. They have accepted the Divine Master. And they say, a tender heart. What is a tender heart? You may ask, right? Renata Cassadei, hello, how are you? Sunshine, hello. So, let me read here to you. Tender, I'm just going to get other words for us. Tender here means, oh, sorry. Just in other words, as we're studying together. It's loving, considerate, right? Delicate, loving and considerate. So when I see youth that is like, I'm so bored, I don't know what to do, I want to be with my friends, that thing is not tender. Should you give in? No. You sit down and say, look, I'm gonna tape next time you do this. So you see it for yourself, because I don't think you realize your body awareness. You have no idea what you're emanating, what kinds of spirits you're calling upon when you behave this way. There is a certain time we need to share them. We needed to make our children more aware of their body awareness. Many of the things they do, it's because nobody gives them a real educational feedback about it. Because when we do, it's just harsh, it's judgmental. But we need to show it to them, tape it, and then show it to them. Say, look, no offense, but have you had any idea that you look like this when you're saying this, when you're doing that? Do you like it? What kinds of spirits are you attracting at that time? Oh, but I just feel that way. I know, but if you give yourself the right to do this, you're giving me the right to do the same. Daily, I mention this to Virginia. When she says something, and I say, do you want me to say that to you? Or do you want me to say that or something that way? And she often smiles and says, no. I said, you see, let's use the golden rule. Do what you'd like to receive. Daily. Daily. It's like brainwash. It's hard work, right? Brainwash. Then clear conscience, meaning a Christ-conscious youth needs to have clear conscience. If we allow them to accumulate guilt, which starts very early, they will start making decisions that are bad for them. So we parents need to do damage control regarding guilt. When we feel that our children are feeling guilty for what they've done, we need to help them get out of guilt. And step forward in their confidence and talk to them, saying, look, I understand why you did this. I understand it wasn't the best, but yet we are here to learn. So give yourself another chance. But we need to do this damage control of guilt early to allow them to go through the teen years with a clear conscience. Many teens already achieved their teen years with a lot of guilt for what they said, what they've done to the siblings, to parents, what they thought, and they accumulate it. They start making associations with spirits that are not healthy. You know what that means? If we want to prevent obsession, we need to start early. Observing our kids when they have feelings that are not healthy, like guilt, or hatred, or shame. The other day, and forgive me for saying this, I'm giving examples because I know how real it is. The other day, I was telling my daughter, look, whenever mom is talking to somebody, wait. Let's practice waiting. That doesn't mean it happens. And I said, you can't interrupt all the time. I understand that you want to participate, but sometimes we can't. And I said, sometimes the other adults want to talk to mommy, and I need to give them full attention, and I can't split it with you at that hour. You need to give up on being the center of my attention just for that time, to be considerate towards that person. She went to her bedroom by herself, and I observed, where is she? And then she went to her bedroom. She was into her little thing. And we have like the emotional corner with several pictures. It's a beautiful project named Generation Gen, My Generation Gen, something like this. And then I came to her and I saw she was reflecting on something. And I said, what's happening? She said, I said, are you sad? She said, yes. Why? because what you said, why did you feel sad? And she said, I didn't want to feel that way. And I said, I know you felt ashamed, but Mom didn't mean to make you feel awkward. I just wanted you to be proactive in helping Mommy. Okay? In life, oftentimes we're not going to be the center of anybody's attention, and that's okay. Because we are in God's attention all the time. And I said, Mom loves you, but you and I need to work as a team and give time for people to be in our full attention. You stay quiet, I'll stay quiet, we're gonna listen and we're gonna talk, okay? And then she smiled. I hugged her, I kissed her. You see, short conversations. And you may think, is that necessary? Yes, it is. We need to digest. Don't you need to digest the food that you put in your mouth? The longer you bite the food, the better it is and the easier it is to digest. So the same for our emotions, for our feelings, for thoughts. We need to work on them, manage. That's why it's management means it's like we are using our hands. So we're working on it. That's molding the good. We're working on it. We're not going to allow misunderstandings to sink in. So we need to communicate. Sometimes we're going to miss it, but then we're going to catch up later. Right? So we need to do the same with ourselves. Sometimes talk to ourselves. Sometimes we don't have a clear conscience because we have accumulated shame and guilt. So a good technique, close the bedroom by yourself. Say a prayer. Talk to your guardian angel. Say, I'm feeling awkward about this. I'm feeling unsettled. I dislike what I've done, what I've felt, what I've said, what I thought. Please help me, dear mentor, dear guide. I need to digest it. It's still hard to swallow. And in a moment of prayer or quietude in meditation, we're gonna feel the caress of that spiritual educator calming us down and helping us manage those emotions and say it's okay. And he's going to explain, or she's going to explain to us, okay? As our dear soul souls is saying that her beautiful teenager was behaving weirdly, they did the gospel at home, there was a beautiful message, crying, feeling God's presence with us. You see, it's normal. We are here to manage it, and in prayer it's much easier, right? Okay? What else do we need as a script for this secure youth? Pure mind. What is a pure mind? We're talking about goals that are immortal. Do you have millennial goals? I know many of us are thinking about eating, drinking our water daily because of coronavirus, staying healthy. But what about pure mind, above it all, something that cannot make us vulnerable? Millennial goals. What are millennial goals? That's the exercise for the next 24 hours. Let us think about millennial goals to create a pure mindset. Millennial goals are above material interests, okay? Because we can't have millennial goals that have material foundations. We're talking about purely immaterial goals. What are they? Exercise for the next 24 hours. Then straight conduct, meaning dutiful conduct. Fulfilling our duties. When you say, but I want to play, okay? We do our work first and then we play. And valiant attitude, being courageous. What is being courageous? Being courageous right now is to do the right. When everybody may be defying the loss, we're going to say, no, I will be courageous. I'm not going to go with the flow. That's how you resist to peer pressure. You need to be courageous. We need to be courageous. And fraternal disposition. That's the main element. To teach our youth since they are children to care for others. Always. In the book Good News by Brother X, that's a good book to read in other languages, because in English we only have it here at Kardec Radio. We see in the book Good News the beautiful description of Jesus as a child, bringing criminals, homeless, to his home to be assisted. He is the model of fraternity, the model of caregiving, Jesus. And we need to teach our children. When they say, oh, on Sunday I want to play date, after we serve the homeless, we're going to play date. Not before, not during, after. But I don't like to go there. Okay. But we need to go there. Because if we were the homeless, we wouldn't like people to go to play dates and forget about us. So we need to do what we'd like to receive. If we train them, they're going to make it, I think. You think God created us for failure? No. He created us for success. Okay? All right? And our dear Sunshine is saying, when I ask for social responsibility around the virus, I am slammed. Really, Sunshine? That's surprising. That's so surprising that people are still that stubborn. Mamma mia. A heart open to suggestions of the good that clarifies the conscience. So often when we are young on earth, we're very still somewhat self-centered and proud of ourselves. When you tell them something, I knew it, I know how to do it, I know it. And you say, look, we're all learning. Mom is learning, you're learning, and that's okay. You don't need to reaffirm to yourself that you knew it, because we're all learning. That's not, bragging about yourself is not healthy. And humble bragging is even worse. So here is a good program to watch on Netflix, and I'll type it in here. For adults, children, and teenagers, especially teenagers, but children can watch it too. Brainchild on Netflix. It starts with a beautiful episode about social media responsibility. It brings scientific facts. It's very funny, and at the same time, it's very good for children who are first graders and up, and it's wonderful for teenagers in so many ways. It talks about so many things that they are exposed nowadays, and teaches us responsibility, social responsibility as well. Yes, you know, Sunshine, I feel for you. Yeah, and I say, you know, you're strong. You can do it. May the good spirits protect you in your mission where you are. So this spotless conscience illuminates the mind and renew its manifestations. spotless conscience, ennobled feelings guides the conduct. You see, when we have millennial goals, we illuminate our conduct, we guide the conduct. So he's saying how we're going to achieve that by having a heart open that is going to shed light on our conscience. And once the conscience is illuminated, the mind is renewing its manifestations. And then we have ennobled feelings that guide our conduct. We are dutiful. We have faultless conduct that determines our courage. And then we can do our edifying work. So the heart open to influence of Jesus enriches life. This is the script for those who want to improve the world. When I see in the Spiritist movement people saying, the new generation is going to do it, I don't think so. Because you are the new generation. If you don't do it, the new one is not going to do it. But aren't they reincarnated to do it? It depends. In the US alone, I've seen children of Spiritists who didn't amount to any dissemination of Spiritism. Why? Because they were not raised prioritizing the Christ conscious teachings. So they are not going to do anything if we don't make it a priority. Okay? We cannot make a miracle happen here. It's 2 + 2 = 4. But we're delaying the transformation. No wonder the coronavirus is coming here. Because we need to shake up and say, what is our priority for God's sakes? And I bet that in each of us, in the back of our minds, there is something for us to adjust. That's why we need to think about the millennial goals. In the next 24 hours, let's be youthful and visualize ourselves millennia to come and think about millennial goals. See what you discover. Let's see what I discovered too. It's going to be an exercise for all of us according to the inspiration of Emmanuel. And let's not forget, if you don't know where to begin, look at the quote, Master Jesus. He's the guide and the model. Emulate. Let's plan the millennial goals according to his example and see what happens. Okay? No matter the religion, I agree with you, Carol. It starts with us first. Yes. Right? Renata Molina, thank you for joining us too. So let us finalize with a prayer. And don't forget that starting tomorrow, March 17th, 2020, here at Kardec Radio, at 6 p.m. we're starting a prayer vigil every day. If you want to participate, write to us at kardecradio@gmail.com. Don't be shy. Join in. And I'll send you the instructions on how you can help as well. Okay? So let us feel this beautiful universe ahead of us, around us, all around. And God expanding it continuously, creating, and counting on us to co-create. Dear God, it feels so good to be here with you. It feels so good to be your child. Thank you for recruiting us daily to partake in the feast of your love. We wish at this moment healing waves to the planet, enveloping everyone, especially those who are being hit hard by the current times. We wish every one of them a helping hand, relief, renewed hope to incarnates and discarnates. And we can visualize the blanket of healing light by Mother Mary enveloping all of us on earth, as she repeats to all, this shall pass, but listen to my son. This shall pass, but listen to my son. And do what he's saying so. This shall pass, but listen to my son. And do what he's been saying. Thank you, God, for this healing moment, for this moment of light and tenderness. May all of the leaders of the earth have a clear mindset of what to do best for all, and so be it. Millennial goals in the next 24 hours, friends. And this is about living in serenity, preparing ourselves for the beautiful times that are ahead of us. Here at Cardiac Radio, we are always nourishing our souls. We wish you a beautiful day, a day of joy, a day of hope, a day of healing, wherever you are. A big hug, and until next time.